A world of despair and fear, where enemies lurk at every turn, devoid of even a single shred of light.
So, they're sleepwalking? How do we wake them up?
If we knew how, we would have done so back then.
Give us your worst! Kinkaku will never leave the Tanuki path! Kinkaku will die before serving you!
Truly?
What are you doing? No, don't!
The humans are everywhere. We can hide forever.
How long have we been hiding? 100 years? 500 years?
No idea. If Ioroi was still around, he would remember.
Shh, quiet! Someone's coming.
This is a fine piece of land. The grain yield should be exceptional.
Remember to check for traces of yokai in the surrounding area. By order of the Shogun.
By order of the Shogun, we are to exterminate all yokai that cross our path.
Why so hasty? We should leave some alive. We can make them work their own land.
Hey, you know about the Mikawa Flower Festival, right? I heard 50% of the profit is going to the development fund.
Oh yeah, the festival for humans. And...
The festival for humans, and humans alone. The yokai have had their fun. It's our turn now.
That's right. We should put them to work. They're known for their transformations, right? Then the little monkeys can dance for us until they die!
No. How could they do that?
Quiet, or they'll catch us.
What is that? Ah!
Hey, are you alright? Yoko, Kappa, I need help over here! Hold on! We're coming!
The yokai and the humans are unconscious?
The same thing happened to all of them?
The Mikawa Flower Festival!
This yokai can speak.
No, if we don't make it to the Mikawa Flower Festival, Boss Tama will be so upset. Boss Tama will eat us.
The humans are coming for us. We're gonna lose our home. What do we do?
We infiltrate the Mikawa Flower Festival. We scare the humans away and then they won't come.
But how do we get into the festival?
Boss Toma is the best!
How about we turn into those 3 yokai?
Traveler! Traveler!
Are you all right, traveler?
ครับ
Where are we?
Huh? The nightmare is gone. You purified it.
Sure did.
Humans! And a bunch of yokai!
The Mikawa Flower Festival!
Wait,
The
what?
humans are gonna... They're gonna... What were they gonna do?
Is she going to yokai?
Oh, that explains all the boss tome of this and boss tome of that. That was the only thing they could imitate.
True.
Wait a second. Hitotsume Kozo and the others should be Akitsuyuge experts. But this time, Toma did all the work. Paimon can't believe we missed something so suspicious. Oh, you're saying Paimon's deductive reasoning is Hazel level.
Based on
More
your
or less.
description, Traveler, it's possible these Bake Tanuki have been in hiding for 500 years. Sounds like they know Ioroi, too. Why don't we ask him? It's not far. The protector of the grove. It's been 500 years since our last meeting. Sarah, Hazo, return to the festival to keep watch. The doppelganger incident has been resolved, but the threat of the nightmare remains. I will handle the meeting with Ioroi myself.
I. Okay. This way.
Ioroi, we're back!
Oh, keep it down. Bringing all these people at this hour. Don't you know even statues need to sleep? Shogun! I bow before thee. No, wait, shoot, I'm still a statue. What should I...
All is well, Ioroi, hidden protector of the grove. Ah, that would be because when Ioroi tried to pluck a Nakuweed from the Imperial Garden, A nearly split him in two, Yashiori Island style.
Keep it to yourself, you meddlesome kitsune.
Ioroi, I wish to ask you something.
Anything, Shogun. Absolutely anything. It is my honor to answer.
Suck up.
Stuck up.
You could have at least slowed down a little. It took forever to convince them to come with me.
Oh, it's Ioroi! The humans really did kill you!
Your body is stone!
Huh? I am not dead.
Not dead? The Kitsune spoke the truth?
This smell is Ioroi! Ioroi is alive! Ioroi? The humans really did seal you away!
Wait, this must be Kinkaku, Ginkaku, and Tetsunosuke. You weren't sealed away?
When the humans, Kabuda Harunosuke, came to hurt us.
We ran and hid. The humans searched and searched. So many friends couldn't move. Our yokai powers were getting weaker.
So we decided to escape the human just as the great Bake Tanuki Tsukumo taught us, by digging a hole in the ground! That's when we uncovered a horn filled with yokai power! It was the will of the great Bake Tanuki Kiichiro made manifest! It restored our power! And then we made the human go, oh, oh, ching, chung, yeah, yeah,
Oh, and by ting tune, yeah, You mean...
We tricked him and ran.
So, you didn't actually beat him up at all?
We've been using the horn to hide ever since. But there are too many humans. It's getting harder to hide.
A horn full of yokai power. Could that be the source of the nightmares? The reason the Bake Danuki are so afraid of humans? If the horn contained the fragment of a nightmare, using its power to hide would spread the nightmare to them. That means the Bake Danuki have been trapped inside this state of anxiety for 500 years.
Ha! I could have told you that nothing good would come from that horn. Using external power is against the Tanuki path.
We strayed from the path?
Sure did.
But the horn helped us hide from the humans. The humans tried to take our land.
On the contrary, the purpose of the investigation was to determine in advance if yokai were present on the land in question. Whether we avoid encroaching on yokai territory altogether, or attempt to reach a mutually beneficial agreement, a peaceful resolution was always the goal.
Oh, really?
Wait, that is what the humans said back then, isn't it?
By order of the Shogun, if yokai live here, we need to discuss the proposal.
Ginkaku Tetsunosuke. Not all humans are bad. Yellow Fur over there helped me a great deal, you know.
Besides, the Bake Danuki were only sealed away back then because Ioroi stole that comb.
Ioroi? It's a thief? Ioroi got what he deserved. How was I to know it was used to make sacred Sakura Daifuku? I gave it back, didn't I?
So the humans were mean for no reason?
Well, if you must know, the young human and I fought. I was perhaps a tad careless, so I conceded the match. Anyway, the point is, neither side is bad.
There he goes again, changing the subject when it makes him look bad.
Now you know. No human is trying to harm you.
So, it was all a nightmare.
Yes.
500 years in hiding? For nothing.
It was a 500-year-long game of hide and seek. What's so bad about that? Besides, you won.
Huh?
He said, huh?
We won? Go us! We're even better than Ioroi!
Hey, my game of hide and seek isn't over yet.
Wow, the mind of a Bake Danuki is something else. Still so cheerful even after all that.
That nature is what isolated them from the worst effects of the nightmare and prevented them from causing any real harm. But a nightmare that's still affecting people after all this time? Who could it belong to? A horn buried under Mount Yogo.
Tainted by darkness, the Oni warrior raised her sword against the almighty shogun. Losing an arm and a horn to the shogun's blade, she fled into the forest, never to be seen again. A trusted lieutenant fighting against the forces of darkness, she was once devoured whole by a beast from beyond this world, with the body of a tiger and the tail of a serpent, until she tore the creature apart from within. Thus she earned the name Chio the Tiger Bite, or Tora Chio.
I don't think Chio would like that name. Though she escaped the belly of the beast alive, that battle never left her. She saw the memories of her fallen comrades everywhere, slaughtered one after another, until she could no longer distinguish dream from reality.
Yeah.
The nightmare twisted every joy in her life. Her subordinates, family, and friends. into enemies in need of destruction. It was in that state, trapped in the battlefield of her mind, that she raised her sword against me on Mount Yogo. With the Muso no Hitotachi, I cut off her arm, one of her horns, and a portion of the mountain itself. I suspect that is when the horn in question was buried there.
And subsequently uncovered by 3 Bake Danuki. That means the fragment on the horn comes from Chiyo's nightmare.
Nightmares feed on fear and anxiety. If what the traveler saw is true, it's possible Kinkaku and the others' fear over the past 500 years allowed the fragment to gain physical form and become something akin to a jibakure. An earthbound spirit. They move through the ley lines, but are also bound by them. That's why the traces of this entity appeared intermittently and never outside of Mount Yogo.
It would seem the fragment of this nightmare is no different from the one back then. It hates all joy and every good thing in this world. The investigation team working for a better future? Attacked. Hitotsume Kozo and his friends, kind enough to lend a helping hand? Attacked.
Yeah, and we were attacked too! Right when we were having fun with the playtesting.
Perhaps it needs to regain strength after your defeat. Or perhaps it is biding its time because it knows, with whatever rationality remains, that it cannot defeat you. But sooner or later, its twisted hatred will force it out of hiding, and it will move to strike its enemies. When Chiyo set her sights on a target, she was never one to waver.
Oh.
But both possibilities prove something.
What?
Nightmare fragments can be defeated, and an enemy that can be killed is one that can be split in two by the power of Muso Ishin.
There's really no other way?
Mikoshi Chiyo is gone. A fragment of a nightmare tied to a severed horn. That is all that remains. The living must take precedent over the memory of the dead.
Okay.
Oh, who cares about the dead anyway? I'm just trying to look out for the living.
What is that supposed to mean, Miko?
Oh, I'm just concerned about our poor Bake Danuki friends.
Huh? What does that have to do with us?
The nightmare fragment has been tied to the Bake Danuki for nearly 500 years. Strike it down, and who's to say whether you take the lives of our poor friends along with it?
I beseech you, almighty Shogun, spare the young ones. It was just a momentary... oh, no. A 500-year-long lapse in judgment.
Miko, you speak the truth?
If you don't believe me, ask Mizuki and the Traveler. I'm sure they've encountered similar cases during their extensive travels.
Well, Oh!
What?
Yes. During my studies both in Liyue and Natlan.
Then, what would you propose? This nightmare fragment is a constant threat to Inazuma. Should all other options fail, I will take action.
If the fragment's hatred toward the world comes from a nightmare, then the most logical option is to get rid of the nightmare itself.
Right! Can't you just eat the nightmare, Mizuki?
The Yumeku Ibaku already tried that 500 years ago. Even yesterday, when faced with the corruption of the nightmare, Mizuki could only mitigate the effects.
What was impossible back then is not necessarily impossible now. I think Mizuki has the right idea. If we cannot eradicate the nightmares directly, why not use this entity's tricks against it? Combat illusions with illusions. Combat nightmares with dreams.
Is that even possible?
Don't forget, there are yokai that specialize in shape-shifting and illusions, and they happen to be right in front of us.
Where? Kinkaku doesn't see them anywhere!
Maybe they're hiding us trees? Or the wind?
Fools! The kitsune is clearly referring to the Bakedanuki. Tetsunosuke, Kinkaku, must you be so dense?
Given their centuries-long connection to the nightmare fragment, they are perfectly positioned to create a dreamscape that the entity will be unable to distinguish from the real world.
Back then, the nightmare had little to no weaknesses. If we want to give the Bakedanuki an opportunity to strike, I assume you have a plan, Miko?
You said it yourself. Mikoshi Chiyo is gone. All that remains is a fragment of her nightmare, already broken and vulnerable. Besides, Mizuki is an old friend, one that is not to be underestimated. She has traveled the land studying dreams and is far more capable than those old fossils back then.
Oh, She just usually doesn't compliment me to my face. But Miko's right. If we work together, I'm confident we can put together a ritual to subdue the nightmare fragment.
Once we perform the ritual, it will take some time for the barrier to take effect. Luckily for us, we have two formidable warriors on our side. Our festival representative, who also happens to have extensive experience against dark forces, and the almighty Shogun, unmatched in combat. I'm sure the two of you can buy us some time.
There's just one problem. Since this entity can pass through the ley lines, its movements are unpredictable. If we're going to create a barrier, how can we be sure it appears where we want?
The solution to that is obvious. If the nightmare fragment despises all sources of joy and happiness, then naturally a joyous occasion would be an evil beyond measure. An enemy that must be annihilated at all costs.
Okay.
So, if we want to lure it out...
The Mikawa Flower Festival!
What joy could possibly compare to finishing one's work right before the deadline?
I would imagine we can all think of a few. But I agree. The Mikawa Flower Festival is the most plausible target. Once the enemy appears, I will pull them into the plane of Euthymia immediately. I will not put the people in danger. Traveler, I ask that you join me there so we can subdue the enemy together.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I will update everyone back at the festival and start the preparations for the ritual. I'll need your help, Mizuki. It's going to be a busy night.
Looks like an all-nighter for me.
Again.
Well, this was your idea. Oh, and don't forget, you need to finish a little fox's daydream as well.
And in a surprising twist, you were my nightmare all along.
Oh, man. Hiccups.
Traveler.
Yes.
During the battle tomorrow, it is imperative you know your limits. If the enemy proves too much to handle, leave them to me.
Of course. But...
I know. I understand your concerns, just as you know mine. We need not say any more than that. Just get some rest and prepare yourself for the battle to come.
Okay.
One more thing. Thank you.
No problem, eh?